And a very good morning from the Thorpe Park Resort. You're watching Adventure Planet, where today, hey, the water skiers are back. Today, I've come back down to the park to do a full park vlog for the first time since the beginning of the season, just to check out all the changes that might have occurred between then and now. We're also going to have a look around, see if we've got any Fright nice changes to kind of speculate on, see if we can see anything around the park and report on that as well. Now, of course, as you can probably see, it's a little bit sunny today. The summer weather is starting to come here in the UK as the summer holidays fast approach. Unfortunately, however, Thorpe Park doesn't actually have a summer event this year. Of course, for the past 2 years, they've had the carnival event, which obviously was very circus themed. You had kind of the circus events and the circus acts. You had the Super Spark Cinema actually opened up for Breakout at Bozo's, which was kind of a lighter form of a scare maze compared to trailers at Fright Nights. However, that's all gone, all part of Merlin's focus on kind of quality over quantity. So a number of the parks here in the UK have actually dropped one of their events. Carnival was the one that got cut here at Thorpe Park, but that's fine. We'll get in, we'll make the most of the day here, get on all my favorite rides, and like I say, report on all of those changes. Now, it is going to be a very busy day here at the park. There's a number of international programs here and school trips as well, which for a Sunday I wasn't really expecting, but that's fine. Although the queue times might be high, we'll get on what we can here regardless. Now, if you want to come down to Thorpe Park, check it all out for yourself. Prices start in advance online at £29, and it's £10 to park your car here. Park hours today, 10 AM through until 7 o'clock. Let's get started. Oh, and there she is, Hyperia, still dominating that skyline. Absolutely cannot wait to get another ride on there again today. Of course, we were here just a couple of weeks ago where we took a look at Fearless Valley, and I got my first rides on Hyperia, so do check that vlog out if you've not already done so. Not quite sure what the queue times for that will be today. I'm expecting it will be pretty savage. Might actually wait until the end of the day, until the park kind of filters out a little bit before I join the queue for that one. Because, yeah, like I say, all the kind of international programs here today and the school trips means it is going to be pretty busy. However, you know, that creates a nice atmosphere, which is good. Music playing here on the bridge as we head on in to the dome. I might actually take a different route around the park today. I'm thinking of heading to Swarm Island first, as most people will still be heading right over to Hyperia. And like I say, it has been busy. It's actually taken me nearly 45 minutes just to get to this point in the park. Yeah, it was pretty savage here first thing this morning. As we head into the dome, and I think I'll make that call. I think I'm going to head right through here and head over to Swarm Island, get my first ride of the day on the Swarm B&M Wing Coaster and the flat rides of Lost Island. Hey, let's go. And here we are through the dome then, to be faced with that very special skyline of Thorpe Park. You got depth charge there, the little park for the kids just here that was constructed last year. We got the Swarm over the background there, just about to enter into that rollover dive. You got Tidal Wave ascending the lift hill, Stealth just behind that. Hey, there goes Swarm. Detonator the drop tower, Nemesis Inferno just to the left. You got Storm Surge, Colossus, and Hyperia towards the back as well. Now, in terms of ride closures, there are none today. Everything's expected to be up and operating throughout the day. Although, having said that, Amity Beach just through here is actually closed. That's undergoing 10 days of maintenance from July the 10th up to and including July 20th. So if you are coming down between those times and expecting to get on the beach, you will be a little bit disappointed. So do bear that in mind if you are coming down here. It's in need of very, very much needed maintenance, really. It was kind of all through here looking particularly filthy, really. So it's nice to see that they've drained the water, given it a good scrub, and we'll get that back to looking nice and pristine in just a few days' time. Yeah, depth charge is looking pretty inviting today, I gotta say. What we're going to do, like I say, we'll take a right here and we head on over to Swarm Island and get our first ride of the day on the B&M Wing Coaster. Let's go take a look. And here we are at Swarm Island then on this absolutely glorious day. Sunny intervals, temperatures about 22 degrees, which is just nice for me. And look at this, absolutely brilliant themed area this. And like I say, I've always said in past Thorpe Park vlogs that it's not a good idea to come here first, as it's relatively close to the entrance and you'll find that a lot of people rush to Swarm first thing in the day. However, since the opening of Hyperia, of course, everybody heads over to Hyperia. So Swarm Island, you could find, is actually pretty quiet first thing in the day. So while Hyperia's still got that kind of hype surrounding it, it's a good idea to come down to Swarm first, actually. Although I am still expecting it to be quite busy today due to all those school trips and those international programs. There she goes, up the lift hill. Absolutely love this area. It's so well themed. All the Swarm supplies here, all the shipping containers, the broken bits of plane, the ambulance, of course, which makes an absolutely fantastic photo opportunity. And here she comes into that zero-G roll. Ah, the audio around here as well, absolutely brilliant. The billboard, the fire truck there, it really is fantastic. It's a great area, this. Oh. Yeah, as you can see, queue line wrapping around this fencing here. Hopefully it's not too bad though. Don't lose your head. Yeah, we'll head on here regardless. It was my birthday just a couple of days ago, and this will be my first coaster since turning 24 years old. And if you believe I'm 24, you'll believe anything. It doesn't look too bad. 40 minutes. 40 minutes for the Swarm, that's not too bad at all. Love the incline loop there. Ah, it looks great. 40 minutes isn't too bad. Got that glorious inline twist there right above the station. Great part of the ride. All this dead wood around here. All right, 40 minutes for the Swarm. Let's jump on. And advertised 40 minutes, but just 25 minutes later, we are here at the station. Next on, left side of the train, which is my preferred side. Hey. Of course, this ride opened back in 2012 and was the UK's only wing coaster right the way up until last year when Mandrill Mayhem opened at Chessington World of Adventures. Can't wait to get on. Just had an absolutely fantastic ride on the Swarm then. 4 inversions on this one and speeds of 59 miles an hour, heights of about 127 feet, and yeah, like I say, you do get much better views on that left side. However, in terms of the ride experience, I would say the right side is probably better, purely just for the top of the lift hill where you get that proper rollover into that first dive drop. But yeah, like I said before, it really is the theming that kind of makes this area. Love this ambulance. It really does look great. All the plane pieces here. It's a fantastic ride. And from going up that lift hill, you can just see towards the back here that the survival game Scare Maze is still in place. Let's go take a look. And here we are then, just to the left of the Swarm's toilets, which were all nicely refurbed as part of the Sparkle project. at the start of this year. I did show you that in the very first vlog actually earlier this year. If you do want to see the inside of those, feel free to check that vlog out. But of course here is where you would have gotten access into survival games. Like I say, the maze itself is still all there towards the back there. You can see the signage just to the left as well. Fully expect this to make a return for its third year here at the park. It is Thorpe Park's most expensive scare maze, so it was always likely. Not expecting any changes, to be perfectly honest with this. Hoping they've sorted out a little bit of repetition towards the end of the maze, although I very much doubt it. But still, it is a good scare maze, this. Nice and intense, lots of in-your-face shouting, kind of pulling you around. Yeah, I really enjoyed it last year and looking forward to getting back into it a little bit later on this year. And I've made my way out of Swarm Island now then, over down here at the Flying Fish, the park's very first roller coaster, which opened back in 1983. It's a little Mag Rides powered coaster. It's actually rethemed to Flying Fish in 1989. Of course, this used to be Space Station Zero, which was actually an enclosed coaster. And at just 15 minutes, it'd be rude not to. Let's jump on.
Loose belongings, such as keys and cell phones, that's right, and all organized grouped into two circles.
And just 15 minutes I waited there for my ride on Flying Fish, and that's the question, isn't it? Can you really come to Thorpe Park and not get a ride on their very first roller coaster? It's an absolute classic, loved it. Good operations here so far actually at the park, both on the Swarm and the Flying Fish. Really impressed with that. Gonna head on over to the Lost City now then and get my ride in on Vortex, which is usually the ride I do first thing in the day. However, of course, today we went over to the Swarm. Queue times don't look too bad over in Lost City, so let's go take a look. And just as we cross the bridge over to the Lost City then, with Rush in the background, I thought I'd just show you the maintenance that's going on here at Amity Beach. Although obviously it's a Sunday, not much is happening today. I gotta say though, I hope that the maintenance hasn't actually started and finished on this side, because yeah, we've still got a lot of plants kind of overgrowing here. It doesn't look the best towards the back there. You've got all the rock work that's still quite discolored. Obviously the water's all been drained, and on this side here you've still got some machinery in place. This side looks a little better. You've got the sand that looks like it's possibly had a nice re-rake. You've got the slide, which is looking pretty clean. I think the idea is to just give this whole area a nice scrub and get it all ready for the start of the summer holidays on the 20th of July, which is when it's obviously due to reopen. And this is quite a nice area for both adults and kids to relax on those days that are quite warm and that we get some sun. You know, you've got some nice water effects there. You've got the sun lounges where the adults can just relax, all overlooking depth charge, of course. But point of contention, I don't know if I'm the only person that feels this way, let me know in the comments, but I think this area's kind of had its day. I would like to see this completely paved over and turned into a brand new themed area. I think it would look really good. You could get some more flat rides on here. Think something along the lines of Discovery Cove at Drayton Manor. You know, you could theme it in alongside Depth Charge there, which already looks quite good with the submarine. Yeah, I just feel like this has kind of had its day. It's looking really, really tired now. And I'm not sure if a little bit of maintenance across 10 days is really going to do anything to really bring that shine back. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way. And just a little bit of off-ride POV of all the rides that can be found here, including Quantum, Vortex, Zodiac, and of course Rush here. All of those rides with a less than 15-minute wait, with the exception of Rush, which is now currently on 30 minutes. I'll tell you what, there were some screams coming from that ride as well. Someone was really enjoying their ride on Rush. But just to the right of Rush, yeah, look at this. The Victory Plaza is now in place here. Now, we did just kind of see this very briefly when obviously you walked down this way towards Fearless Valley and Hyperia a couple of weeks ago. Thought I'd take just a little bit of a closer look now. All this fake grass here. Nice little seating area. Got lots of benches covered over with the canopies right in front of Takataria here. You've got a fully licensed bar at the back, some games. Ben & Jerry's van is here. Yeah, look at this. Presented by Piper's Crisps and Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Bag your deck chair, grab a drink and cheer for your winners. Now, I do believe this was put into place for the Euros that's been showing on the big TV screen at the back there, mounted on that shipping container. Now, obviously the Euros coming to an end at the end of today. Good luck, England, by the way. I do believe the focus will move on to the Olympics, which goes through until the 11th of August. But yeah, look at this. Yeah, grab yourself a deck chair. I actually think this is a really nice seating area, to be perfectly honest. I think it really fits the park quite well. It fits this area. The question is, obviously, this is obviously where Stitches, the Fright Night Scare Maze, was actually built last year. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, if this all gets removed. I would suspect that this won't take much longer than a day to all take out. And then, of course, the Stitches Maze can start to get built, well, hopefully pretty quickly, to get it in time for the first day of Fright Nights, which is the 3rd of October. So yeah, we'll see. I think it could still be done, either that or this will stay for a little bit past the 11th of August, and maybe the Stitches Scare Maze will be in a completely different location. Who knows? That's to find out over the next few months. And I'm making my way down into the Amity area of the park then. Here, of course, is Storm Surge, open here in 2011. Are they going to get hit by the blast? Hey, they did. Yeah. Really nice and refreshing for that water effect there on a day like today. Of course, opposite there you've got High Striker, little Frog Hopper, Bounce Tower, Junior Drop Tower, whatever you want to call them. I'll tell you what, it really is a nice day today. Just the right temperatures. Absolutely perfect. Yes, Storm Surge looking really nice and colourful actually. And a little fun fact, this actually came from Legoland, Florida as well back in the day. Oh, they got a good spin on that one. Absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, Tidal Wave, that's been here since the year 2000. And yeah, they all kind of brought the Pier 13 theming back as part of the Sparkle project for this season. Amity Bugle there, where you can get your Amity kebabs. Marlin Press, your misery is our trade. And again, Tidal Wave is another one of those rides here that does have some absolutely brilliant theming. Here it comes. Hey! I do like this. You won't get wet here, honest. Absolute soaker. That is a 9 out of 10 for sure. Dockside snacks here. And of course, if you do go on Tidal Wave and you do get absolutely soaked, you can dry yourself off just at these dryers here. You got the mega store just off to the left, but where we're going to head now is round to the right here. Oh, it's busy in this area. We're going to head into the newest area of Thorpe Park, opened at the start of this season. Let's go take a look at Big Easy Boulevard. And before we do head on over to Big Easy Boulevard, I thought I'd just pop into the mega store, see if they've got any new bits of merch. Yeah, these are quite nice with obviously the new Thorpe Park logo on here. This one's pretty cool. This one's all nicely embroidered as well. Nice little hoodie, no zips on there. That's quite nice for £55. If you want to wear the Thorpe Park branding, love this huge snow globe here. Look at that. Got Tidal Wave here, but on the outside you've got the Swarm as well. That's all really nice. You've got Stealth, Nemesis Inferno on the back there, Hyperia's on there, Colossus. That's great. I really like that. £35 for that. Yeah, that's a nice little piece. You got some more of the new logo stuff here. You got the bucket hats. Again with just the logo without the Thorpe Park wording. That's quite cool as well. Got the Thorpe Park logo down on the side there. That's quite nice for £25. And you got some bits for Hyperia here as well, including the mug, 2 types of mug. You got one with the embossed logo here, and then you've also got one with the ride layout and the logo kind of on the inside there. That's quite nice. Not much else new for ride merch, however I do like this Swarm t-shirt here. Yeah, that's nicely embroidered there, which is pretty cool. And then on the back you've got some of the stats. That's not embroidered, but yeah, it's still quite nice. You've got the height, max speed, duration there, and the G-force. Quite a nice color as well. Not quite sure on the price though, as it doesn't actually appear to be on there, but I assume that's probably around £25. Quite like that. And we've got a few of the new ride resins in here as well at £18 a pop. And I've got to say, these new ones have turned out to be quite divisive actually. They're certainly more colourful and arguably more detailed than the ones that used to be before. But I've got to be honest, I kind of feel that they do look a little bit cheap. I mean, you've got the Nemesis Inferno one here that looks a little bit flat, but you've got kind of the volcano, you've got the ride coming around here, which, you know, it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, there's just something about them that kind of feels a little bit cheap. Like you've got obviously the tidal wave one here, which kind of from a distance looked okay, but then when you get closer, yeah, it just looks a little bit cheap here. Like this kind of theming here as well looks a little bit cheap. You got a Colossus one here. The best one of the ones here though, I think, is this Saw one. This one's actually really, really nice, quite detailed, and these are actually quite sharp, which is a nice touch. And this is really quite nice, isn't it? You see quite a few of these around now, but this Swarm one is really quite detailed. I think that'd look really good hung up somewhere in my house. Got the big Swarm alien here, and then the Swarm logo on the bottom. Yeah, like I say, that's actually quite nicely detailed. That do like that one. And we're now heading out of Amity Cove then, and of course some nice off-ride POV of tidal wave there into New Orleans and Big Easy Boulevard. Of course, this is Thorpe Park's newest themed area, opened this season. Of course, Angry Birds Land opened here back in 2014, and that had a good run here. But yeah, towards the end of its life, it did start to look a little run down, and I think it was about time that left the park, and we had some changes in. So yeah, they painted it all up. Got some nice bits of signage around here. All these freshly painted buildings. Detonator had a massive retheme. We've got the new Sunset Cinema showing Ready Player One. Big Easy bumpers just behind us there. That used to be King Pig's. Hey! And yeah, I really do quite like that. All the colors. The guy at the fuel pumps there pumping Gator gasoline. 20-minute wait for that one. You got Boulevard Bites just off to the left there. Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of this area, to be honest. It all feels nice and fresh. I love these bits of signage up here. And I did go in and see Ready Player One at the start of the season. I mean, 4D cinemas aren't really my thing, so I won't do that again today. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. For those that have seen the film, it's all based on that initial race sequence. But yeah, here's Detonator here, just been testing, still marked down as closed. But I think it's just reopening now. But yeah, love the retheme they've done with this, with all the fireworks. Even though I feel like it didn't really suit it. I mean, surely fireworks is more appropriate for a shot tower than a drop tower. But I did like all the theming that they put into place here. All the colors, Freedom Firework Co. And then behind this kind of perspex here, they've got all the fireworks, which all looks really, really nice. Yeah, I'll see if this is open. Nice forceful drop tower this. It might only be 115 feet. But yeah, definitely got some forces behind it. So I reckon this is just about to reopen. There we are, 5 minutes. Let's jump on. And waited waited just 5 minutes for Detonator then, and I'll tell you what, that ride really has got some kick to it. It might be one of the smaller drop towers, like I say, at 115 feet, but yeah, it's definitely got some force behind it. And aesthetically, I do think they've done a great job with the retheme for Big Easy Boulevard. I think it looks a lot better. However, I will say that the audio isn't as good. It's all a pre-recorded sequence now. There's an actual countdown, so you know when you're going to drop. The old way of doing it, the ride operator kind of had a little bit of a play with you at the top of the tower, and you were never quite sure when you were going to drop, so it was all a little bit of a surprise. I certainly did prefer that old way, but still, it is still a fantastic ride. Like I say, nice kick to it. Making my way down towards Amity Speedway now then, thought I'd just stop by and take a look at the Rumba Rapids. Unfortunately, this is actually down for the moment. Looks like they're just sending a couple of boats around to test. Hopefully this will be back up and running really soon. One of the park's original rides, this opened back in 1987, and it's not a bad rapids. Always nice to do it on days like today, because you do get a little bit of a splash, certainly in this section here if you're lucky. And you got some great views of Stealth right above you as well. But just before I do head to Amity Speedway, I thought I'd take a seat here just round the back of Burger King and grab myself some lunch. I actually brought a packed lunch today, thought I'd save myself £10. I usually go into the Burger King or the KFC, but I thought no, I'll grab myself a packed lunch today, and also use my voucher to pick up the new Hyperia flask here. So I've got my my free refills throughout the day. Hey, as Stealth goes in the background. So yeah, I've had some lunch, and I'm going to head over to Amity Speedway. Hey, it's double tea party. Complete walk on. And a little bit of off-ride footage there then of Double Tea Party, and I gotta say, I still love the soundtrack for that ride. I think it's great. As we make our way now into Amity Speedway, and I tell you what, for Project Sparkle, this area received a lot of love, and it's good to see it still looking really sharp. Obviously, you had all the signage that was updated here. You had all the advertisements that went in along here with all the hidden Easter eggs. The station itself received a lot of love as well with all of its repaint, and it's good to see it still looking really quite sharp. As Stealth gets ready to launch just here, the world's fastest coaster now. After the retirement of Dodonpa in Japan, 0 to 80 in 1.8 seconds. Oh, what an absolute beast. And I tell you what, 40 minutes for the world's fastest coaster, you can't go wrong with that. Let's jump on. A 40-minute advertised wait time, waited just 30, and that was for a front row as well on Stealth, the world's fastest launching coaster. Like I say, 0 to 80 in 1.8 seconds, and yeah, with the retirement, as mentioned, of Dodonpa in Japan, that was actually an S&S Worldwide compressed air launch coaster found at Fuji-Q Highland. With the retirement of that ride, Stealth now takes that title, and I feel like Thorpe Park should jump on that. Yeah, you know, advertise it. You've now got, you know, the world's fastest launching coaster. Absolutely brilliant, into the top of that 205-foot top hat. And yes, there's not really anything else to the ride. It is all about that launch. But what a launch it is. Hydraulic launch, and I really do hope they don't change that, they don't mess with it at any point in the near future at least, because it is absolutely brilliant. It really does pack a punch, throws you back into your seat, and if you love forces and you love acceleration, Stealth could be one of your favorite coasters in the world. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, what an absolute beast. You do well to keep your hands up during that launch. While we're here in Amity Speedway though, it is worth noting that seeing as we are touching on the Fright nights, obviously mazes and the shows, it is worth noting that of course Creature Campus takes place here in the Stealth Plaza. Now that was new last year, replaced Graduation Sucks. If you remember, you had all the bleachers along here, and it was kind of a battle between the Lycans and the Amity schools. I suspect that that will come back for Fright Nights this year, possibly with some changes. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it is always a good show. It's been here for several years now, but last year saw it have a little bit of a facelift, but it was still fantastic. Really looking forward to seeing what they do with it this year. And always enjoy a ride on big easy bumpers. Not King Pigs or Angry Birds anymore, you've just got the blue, red and green cars. Absolute carnage. And some off-ride footage there then of big easy bumpers as I've made my way over to Nemesis Inferno. Now I'll tell you what, all that screaming on stealth, I've started to lose my voice as she starts to go up the lift hill. Just about to go into that vertical loop, one of 4 inversions on this one. This one opened back in 2003, manufactured by B&M, of course. And it's a great ride. Here she comes. Oh, into that zero-G roll. Now the interesting thing also in this area is this, for Fright Nights, is where you would find Death's Doors. That usually has its facade here with the maze stretching out just through the back. Now if that does come back, it will be in its 3rd year, and although the concept of the scare maze was actually pretty good, in practice it didn't really work, especially if it was really busy. The idea is you go in, you knock on doors, and obviously whatever's behind that door comes out and gives you a scare, but it just kind of descends into a little bit of carnage really on the busier nights when the scare actors are just kind of running around. People are just sort of stood around not really knowing where to go or what to do. So it wouldn't surprise me if that scare maze does get changed up this year, either for something brand new or maybe they'll just change how it works slightly. It will be interesting to see. Hopefully we'll find out a little bit more about that as obviously the year progresses. But I'm going to head back round now, get a ride on Nemesis Inferno. Current queue time is 40 minutes. Just had my ride on Nemesis Inferno then. I'll tell you, I don't know what was happening with the cue boards there. 40 minutes advertised, 15 minutes. I was actually sat on the ride, row 7. Best row for that, really nice and forceful, and I absolutely love the ride. I think it's brilliant. 4 inversions, including those world famous interlocking corkscrews. And I've got to say, big shout out to the staff here today at Thorpe Park. The operations on there, absolutely brilliant. 45-second dispatches on there, and that's been the case across the park today. It's been an absolutely brilliant job. I'm going to head into the Lost City now, then back over to Colossus. We're going to check out the Power of 10. And look at this, it's Mr. Monkey, he's going to come with me. Oh, and it is just a constant cycle of trains on Nemesis Inferno. Really, really impressive to see. Once again, big shout out to the staff here for the operations today. It really has been something else. Right underneath Nemesis Inferno's first drop though, of course, last year you had Lucifer's Lair, which was brand new, and it was kind of a stage show mixed with a scare zone. You had the big stage here, and you had a big piece of theming here as well, which included like a throne. There was loads of scare actors sat around it, some really impressive fire effects as well, and the show itself was great. It was a massive hit with everybody that attended Fright Nights last year, so I fully expect it to make a return this year, or at least I hope it does anyway, because I really would like to see that show again and kind of experience that scare zone. You had all the wandering actors. It really was an absolutely fantastic atmosphere, so yeah, I fully expect that to make a return, and I look forward to seeing it. Of course, you've also got Ghost Train here. Was Darren Brown's Ghost Train, opened back in 2016, then VR was removed. It reopened just as Ghost Train. It's one of those rides that I will do once a season. Not going to get it today, even for its 20 minutes, because to be honest, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. And whose bike is this then? Yeah, of course, it must be Daryl's from The Walking Dead. Of course, The Walking Dead, the ride here. Got scare actors in there today. They won't touch you, do not touch them. Do you know what? It looks pretty much a walk-on. So I'm going to go into the single rider queue just in case. You may as well get a ride on here if it is a walk-on. Great ride this. It does bring into question though, I mean, this was re-themed from No Way Out back in 2018. And you know, I feel like The Walking Dead is kind of dying out a little bit now, or it certainly has been over the past couple of years, which does beg the question, will this see another retheme at some point soon? Great little enclosed coaster this though, and we may as well jump on. And just had my ride on The Walking Dead. The ride then practically a walk-on, and yeah, like I say, I love it. Little Vekoma coaster, enclosed, opened all the way back in 1996. It was rethemed to The Walking Dead in 2018. I do feel like yeah, that IP is kind of getting towards the end of its life now, so I do hope to see some changes in the future for that. Like I say, I did prefer it when it was No Way Out. I think it was a much better experience. You had that backward section, which was really, really cool, but we'll see what happens in the future for that ride. Now though, Colossus, just a 5-minute wait. Let's jump on and see if the operations are just as good as across the rest of the park. With a 5-minute wait, I'm assuming they are. And we made it to the station of Colossus, but unfortunately it has gone down with, I'm assuming, a fault that's not going to be solved before the end of the day. One of the trains is still out the back here, full of people that are sat in direct sunlight. They're trying to get those people out now. People here in the station have been given a fast track access on Saw the Ride though, so unfortunately it looks as though Colossus is going to be closed for the rest of the day, and they're going to walk us over to Saw the Ride now to get a fast track on that. Yeah, shame really. I really enjoy Colossus. However these things happen, let's head on over to Saw. Just had my ride on Saw the Ride then, and I'll tell you what, front row, second from the left, oh, I was rattled around quite a lot on there today. Felt like something went in my neck as well, but you know, I think that's just age. It's an okay ride, that. It's not my favorite Gerstlauer Eurofighter by a long way, but the theming is fantastic, and all the little pieces in there were working today as well, which is good to see. Not quite sure what happened with Colossus earlier, some kind of mechanical issue. They weren't expecting it to reopen for the rest of the day, so as a way, an apology, which was a nice touch. They brought us down to Saw the Ride to get us in on the ride access pass. Unfortunately though, it didn't really make any difference because Saw the Ride is currently on a 0-minute wait, complete walk-on, so it didn't really make that much of a difference. Let's head down to the little plaza area now then, just by the lake, see if we can see anything. It's still early days yet. We're not going to see any Fright Night stuff yet, but of course that is where the crows at Morecambe Meadow reside during Fright Nights. Let's go take a look. And here we go then as we head down to that little breakout area, which last year was full of all those circus acts for Carnival. Oh, these misters, much, much appreciated. Yeah, like you see, it's very bare today. But of course, during Fright Nights, this is where you get the Crows of Morecambe Meadow, a really, really creepy scare zone. We'll hopefully make a return this year. Last year, I actually saw a huge expansion of the zone, which was absolutely fantastic. So I'm really hoping to see that back again. That all takes place around this area. As you can see, they've got quite a lot of space for it, and they do an absolutely fantastic job. And I'll tell you what, last year saw a huge investment in the Fright Nights event. It really was incredible, and hopefully we'll see the same this year with, you know, possibly some trailers updates, a new maze obviously in the building once occupied by Black Mirror Labyrinth. That looks very much likely. Could we see a return of the buckwheats there? I mean, it is pretty close to where Creek Freak Massacre once stood, obviously back, which is now Hyperia, so that could see a return of the buckwheats. I would absolutely love to see that. They can come back, be really angry about losing their cabin to Hyperia. I think that's a great way to kind of merge that into the storyline. I think that'll be great. Obviously, like I say, we'll have more updates on Fright Nights throughout Oktoberfest. That's where you start to see kind of the mazes getting built and getting put into place. So we'll of course be back there for that event, and we'll take a much closer look. And there is Samurai Mondial Top Scan. Used to reside at Chessington's World of Adventures, this. Love the new colour scheme for it, that black and red. I think it looks great. Obviously this was painted up for the start of this season. Didn't actually open on opening day. It was a little bit delayed, but I gotta say, I really do like this new colour scheme. I think it looks great. Anyway, let's head on over to the last area for today then. It's Fearless Valley. And of course I won't focus too much on this area or Fearless Valley and Hyperia itself. That was all kind of its own separate vlog just a couple of weeks ago, where I kind of reviewed and took a first look at the area and the coaster itself. So if you do want to check out my thoughts on Hyperia, do take a look at that vlog just a couple of weeks ago in the Thorpe Park playlists on the channel. But just to kind of mention it again, this of course is where Black Mirror Labyrinth used to stand. You can just see the building for it in the back here. Now we don't know anything official about what's actually happening with this area yet, but like I said earlier, I would really like this to kind of be a new scare maze, which I'm sure it's going to be, but I'd like it to be based on the buckwheats of course their Creek Freak Massacre used to be just through here. So yeah, it's not too far away. I think they could, you know, potentially bring that storyline back. And like I say, yeah, have them kind of really angry that they've lost that plot of land and have them in here somewhere. I think that'd be great. Looking forward to seeing what the park do with this space. And after, obviously, Fright Nights as well, once that's finished, are they going to get rid of this building, get rid of the slammer that's still here that you can see, and maybe theme this area up into something different, get a new flat ride in here? Who knows? Exciting times ahead, hopefully. And I look forward to what they're going to be doing with this space. And here we are at Hyperia then, with just a 20-minute wait. It looks as though the park is really filtering out now. Oh, a lot of people, I suspect, going back out to watch the football. The final is tonight. Can't go wrong with 20 minutes. Let's jump on. I've just had my ride on Hyperia to close the day out here at Thorpe Park. Row 2, still not quite got that front row yet, but row 2 was simply phenomenal. Left side of the train again, getting those massive views over the park and further afield. Absolutely incredible. And the ride is it's world class. It's an absolutely brilliant ride. That stall, I stand by what I said before, it is one of the best stalls in the game, in the world. It is absolutely brilliant. That first twisting drop, absolutely incredible. And I still haven't quite worked out what that outer bank element really is. It's absolutely amazing. Never felt anything like it in my life. It really does feel like you're just getting sucked out of your seats. It's an incredible ride. The soundtrack is absolutely brilliant as she gives her last rides of the day. Absolutely love it. It's just spectacular in more ways than one. Like I say though, that does bring us to the end of the day now, unfortunately. It's gone really quite quick today. Gonna put in a few more shots around the park and then we'll be wrapping up today's vlog.
On the pitch at the moment, Micah.
Yeah, it's just an amazing atmosphere. It's so loud in here, so the England fans come in.
It's a big part of it. You've got to make sure you get it all right and it's as normal as possible. So you don't want anything going on. We can sneak it.
And with that final ride on Hyperia then, and that last little look around the park of the Victory Plaza, and a little cameo by the Thorpe Park geese there, that brings this vlog here from Thorpe Park to a close. And what an absolutely beautiful day it's been today. Temperatures of 22 degrees, lots of sun. It's really felt like summer has finally arrived here in the UK, and that really kind of brings all those refurbs to the front that actually took place during Project Sparkle. It's all looked absolutely fantastic in the park today, and once again I've got to say that apart from the little trip up at the end of the day with Colossus and Rumba Rapids actually that didn't actually reopen throughout the day, operations have been absolutely on point today. Really impressive. All the coasters absolutely banging those trains out one after the other. It's been really good. It's felt like Thorpe Park has really kind of stepped up their operations lately, which is absolutely great to see. Good to come to the park and just see some of the changes that have happened. Nice to see Samurai actually in full operation with its new paint job. That was good to see. And of course the Victory Plaza as well. I think that's a really nice little breakout area. That I would like to actually see it stay there, and maybe the Stitches Scare Maze getting put somewhere else. Not quite sure where that would go. It would actually fit on the beach quite nicely, but we'll see. Not too much in the way of Fright Nights updates to see today. Obviously it is kind of early days. We'll see a lot more during the Oktoberfest event, and that will be the next time I'm down here at Thorpe Park. Hyperia though, absolutely fantastic. It is a world-class ride. Stealth, absolutely brilliant for that, the force of that launch. I hope that that launch isn't going to go anywhere soon, that they keep it hydraulic, because it is absolutely brilliant. And starting the day off on the Swarm as well, on that left side, some amazing views over London, and that's a classic ride as well. Love all the theming around Swarm Island. It's brilliant. I absolutely love coming down to Thorpe Park, and I cannot wait to come back here again really soon for Oktoberfest and check out all those shows again, because that is always a really good atmosphere. It's been a very busy day here today though as well, and that vibe and that atmosphere is really lifted when you're on those busy days. It's been great just to kind of people watch, you know. It's been absolutely fantastic. I really do love it at this park. That's going to be it though in terms of the next vlog coming up. Well, we're going to be back at Chessington World of Adventures, and that is the very first day of their brand new summer event, Summer Festival. So we'll be taking a look at all the changes, how it compares to Wilderfest, and just see yeah, what kind of changes we can expect to see with maybe new shows, new acts. I've heard there's a silent disco there as well, so we'll be checking all that out, as well as of course getting on some of my favorite rides at that park. That's coming up next week right here on Adventure Planet, but here from Thorpe Park, a very sunny Thorpe Park. I want to thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy riding everybody, and I shall see you at Chessington.